Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to my evening news report right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. Judge takes lawmakers versus Sununu COVID-19 funding dispute under advisement after hearing. Separation of powers case focuses on who has final say over how 1.25B in federal CARES Act relief funds are spent. A judge on Monday took under advisement opposing arguments by lawmakers for state Democrat lawmakers and for Governor Chris Sununu over who has final say over the spending of $1.25 billion in federal funds to address the fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. The legislators argued that under the state constitution and state law, Sununu must receive approval of the legislative branch, especially the Joint Legislative Fiscal Committee, before spending the funds. Half of the funds were received last Friday, with the remainder expected to arrive on Friday of this week as part of the $2 trillion CARES Act. The lawmakers argued Sununu has overstepped his legal and constitutional authority by establishing a unit in his office that, under Sununu's direction and with his approval, would literally approve and oversee the distributions of the federal money. Sununu has said that in an emergency, he has clear authority under a 2002 state law to bypass the lawmakers in the interest of quickly delivering the important funds to key entities of the state to address the fallout of the pandemic. The lawmakers who are plaintiffs in the suit are Senate President Donna Saucy, House Speaker Steve Shitloff, Fiscal Committee Chair Rep. Mary Jane Wallner, and Fiscal Committee Vice Chair Senator Lou DeLastro. They are seeking a primarily interjection to block Sununu from spending money without committee approval, and then ultimately a declaratory judgment in their favor. Sununu is asking that the suit to be dismissed and objects to the lawmakers' motions. During more than 2 hours of arguments before Supreme Court Judge David Anderson, the lawmakers cited several laws dealing with emergencies and spending authority to advance their cases. The proceeding was held electronically in accordance with social distancing guidelines, with the judge and a few staffers in the Manchester courtroom, and the attorneys speaking remotely from their homes or offices. Anderson promised to rule as quickly as possible, but noted the complex nature of the case. State Solicitor General Daniel Will, representing Sununu, said the four lawmakers have no standing to bring suit because they are individuals, not the legislature, and they do not represent the legislature. He said that the individuals have no legal authority to argue that they would be harmed by a violation of the separation of power provision of the state constitution. While the legislature amend their complaints Sunday night, argue their case as individuals and not representatives of the fiscal committee, Will said. A separation of power claims does not constitute a personalized injury that an individual legislature can suffer. Will argued on merits of the case that the 2002 law provides the governor with extraordinary powers in an emergency, including the authority to accept federal funds and spend that money without legislative approval. He also argued that as a particular matter, the legislature is not equipped to move quickly to approve expenditures for equipment necessary to address the coronavirus emergency, such as personal protective equipment and ventilators. But State Senate Legal Counsel Greg Silverman, representing the lawmakers, said the fiscal committee has the authority to waive its required 24-hour meeting notice and has the ability to meet at a moment's notice to review an appointment request from the governor. He said Sununu is trying to obscure the legislature's power of the purse. And here is more from the article. We will show you that now. Fiscal Committee approves replacing 26M and transferred funds. Legal arguments. Legislators, governor react to hearing. And if you want to see that article again, we will share it with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page right after this broadcast. And thank you for watching this news report right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another news report. Good night and bye, everyone.